episode of Dear Women, I Got Y'all. I am your host, Jazmin Griffith, and today we have a juicy conversation, and I am so excited to present these two beautiful women. So today we're talking about adult friendships. What does it mean to have adult friendships? How to maintain them? How to navigate toxic relationships? And what does it mean to have friends in like your older 20s and in your 30s? So let me introduce you guys to my two best friends. To the right, we have Ania Anderson, nurse, boss, bitch. I mean, hello. I've known her for 20. Yes, girl. I've known her for 20 plus years. Her family's my family. My family is her family. Like, oh my God, I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you. Cheers. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Absolutely, girl. And to my left, we have Ryan, girl. The mom, my two beautiful god kids. Hooters love story. Like, I mean, it's been matchmake ever.
Matchmake in heaven.
Matchmake in heaven. Okay, girl. Anyways, I've known her for 10 plus years and I'm so excited to have her today.
Thank you for having me, Jazmin.
Absolutely. So let's jump into it. So we live in a world of social media, right? You guys have been my friends for 20, 30 years almost at this point, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's if I do the math, like combine it together, right? Okay. So in this world of social media, so many people are finding friends like online. And I don't know if you've been on TikTok lately, but a lot of women are always like struggling. They're always asking like, oh my God, like, where do you guys find friends? Everybody's doing this thing where like they're moving to new cities. And the biggest thing that women always struggle with is like finding new friends, right? But then when you find a friend, I don't know what it is. It's like, it's really hard. I've had so many friendships over the years and like, this is the last two standing. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is it, you know? Mm-hmm. Why do you feel like it's so hard to maintain adult friendships now, like in our older 20s and our 30s versus like when we were in our younger 20s? Like, we had friends for days. We had a friend for something every single day.
I think it just comes with like maturity. So for instance, when you're younger, you just don't care. Yeah. Like your trust is like whatever, you know, and I feel like now we've been burned for so many times and like bridges have been broken, all that. So I feel like now it's like our guard is like all the way up. Like I don't trust people, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it is what it is. If you ain't made it to this point, then I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
I definitely agree with Ryan. You know, as we grow older, as women, there's a lot of more life experiences that we navigate and that we go through. There's things that we are being shaped from. There's certain things that we might experience with other people that, you know, might strengthen us in certain ways. There's things that we might have to shed. So even with maintaining certain relationships, other people may not be able to understand, like, you know, the growing patterns and curves that you might go through. So sometimes you might have to let go of certain. Go ahead. You might have to let go of, like, you know, certain relationships, depending upon, you know, where you are, like, in your life versus where you were in your life in the past. Yeah. So
I think it's crazy though, because back in the day, like in my younger 20s, like I felt like I was thirsty for friends. You know what I'm saying? Like I had so many different friends for different things. Like I had the going out friend. I had the friend that I could hit up for, you know, if I just wanted to chill and kick it. I had the friends that if I wanted to talk about career advice. But then like now that I think about it, like them bitches was never my friends. Because as I've gotten older, like I don't want to go to the club no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, my conversations with you guys are very different. It's not about, like, girl, did you see what happened to such and such on such a day? Mm-hmm. It's more so, like, did you see the latest stock? Or, like, hey, Jazz, like, I'm trying to buy a house. Like, you know, what's the best lender for some type of stuff? Like, they're more, like, quality conversations. So, like, how's it been, like, you, for example? Like, you're a nurse. You had Delta. Shout out to the Deltas. You know, you went to Tuskegee. Like, you have a large friend group, right? And so, like, over the years, I've seen you have so many friends. And they've kind of dwindled down. Like, what does your friend group for you kind of look like right now?
A lot of that, what you just said, I definitely can relate to. Because, you know, as we're younger, you know, we just don't care. Like, you know, we're just having fun. We're being free. We're going out. But having friends in different friend groups, I mean, of course, as I've grown, you know, throughout the years, I have shed, you know, some of the friends in the past. In my personal experience, like, you know, being in college, being in sorority, you do meet like-minded women who are well-round shaped in, I guess, similar aspects or similar interests that you're, you know, interested in. Going to school, being a part of a sorority, you meet women who are like-minded with you. So I guess that's how you can kind of like shape or mold those friendships.
Yeah. And what about you?
Well, you know, with me not being from here, I have my friend group in Dublin. So I have all my like country friends, people I grew up with, I work with, went to school with. So like when I go back home, that's really when I connect with them. Yeah. But like when I'm up here, like I have y'all and I pretty much say to myself. Yeah. And that's just, you know, down there, like certain things I can talk about with y'all, I can't talk about with them.
Yeah.
You know, because they don't understand it's a different lifestyle in Dublin. It's more closed-minded. They're not open to as many opportunities as I'm open to up here. So some of the things that I'm interested in now, they can't relate to.
Yeah.
So like when I go home, I have to water myself down just a little bit so I can be on the level that they're on. Not like in a negative way, but just to make sure that we're maintaining that relatability.
Yeah.
So it can be hard to try to balance the two because I feel like have to be two different people. But, you know, those are my friends. Like, I've known them since I was, like, 18, 19. Yeah. And then coming up here, it just made a whole different set.
Yeah. I feel like in my younger 20s, I was very quick to call somebody my friend. You know, like, I was very quick to call somebody my friend. And then as I've gotten older, I realized this word of friend, like, it's so valuable. You know, like, and also in my younger 20s, like, I felt like those friends or acquaintances that I had, they worked for me at the moment because I was outside. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was going out, we was traveling, and we would meet certain people like, yeah, girl, send me your number. Let me see your Instagram. We can go out. But after a while, it's like, I feel like certain people just you have to keep them where they keep you, I guess, in a sense, right? Like, you know, they come into your life for a little bit and that's really it. And as you get older and your priorities and stuff change, like, you have to respect them for what their role was in your life. Like, some people, I was just meant to hang out with you, to go out with you, and that was really it. We never had a long-lasting friendship. Like, me and you, we worked at Hooters for so many years, and like, it was 5 of us, and we used to be like this. And as we've gotten older, it's just me and you left. We literally don't talk, but we was thick as thieves. We would go out all the time. We went to college together. We went to class together. And, you know, that was really it. We're not friends with half of those people anymore. Same thing with you. I would go down to Tuskegee, and we had the same group of people that we hung out with. And as we got older, like, our group went from like hanging out with 4, 5, 6, 10 girls to like, now it really be just me and you and maybe maybe
one
you know,
other person.
Maybe one other person, you know, went. Like, now it's just like, I'm good and I'm content where I am in my friend group. Like, now it's like, hey, the certain friends that I have now, which is you guys, if I say I don't want to go out somewhere because I'm tired, it's never like, yeah, bitch, you lame, me ain't doing nothing.
Right.
It is what it is, versus I still have those old friends where they'll still hit me up to go out. And I'm like, I'm not trying to do that. And they get upset. And that's fine. Like, it is what it is. Now, if I was to make new friends right now, first and foremost, I don't think I'm making new friends. So I'm just going to keep it. It's really hard to make friends in your 30s. But, like, what are some traits that you would look for, like, in a friend? Like, what's important to you, like, in a friendship?
They have to understand that I'm a mama. So, like, sometimes, you know, funds may be a little tight. I can't go out and spend $300 on a meal because I got to buy school clothes. I got to do this. I got to do that, you know? So, they have to be understanding of, like, me being a parent. And I got to be able to trust your ass.
Yeah.
You know, women are grimy.
And weird.
And I rather have associates.
Yeah.
You know, it's just hard to really find, like, a friend, but you have to be trustworthy and you have to be very understanding and empathetic.
Yeah.
Because we all have our own shit going on.
Yeah.
So, for me, that's what it would be.
Yeah. What about you?
I mean, I definitely agree. With me, I'm very busy. You know, I have a lot going on. You know, I have a home life. I'm in school. I also work. Both of those are like full time. All 3 of those are full time. So, you know, I think in the past, like with me being a friend, I found myself always trying to extend myself, like, you know, to so many different people and so many different occasions, so many different times. Just because I say no to something, it's not anything personal. It's just like, you know, that's my limit. Like, that's all I can, you know, really do at the time, you know. And it's not to, you know, mean that I can't or I don't want to. It's just that, you know, I've got so much stuff going on, like, you know, people who are understanding of that. That's what I feel like I would consider.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing for me in a friendship, which I have in both of you too, and I hope I don't get emotional when I say this, is like somebody that is there for me. Mm-hmm. Because for me, I feel like I'm an acquired taste. I say this all the time. My personality is very big, you know, and sometimes I can be a little selfish and I can be very careless with who I am as an individual. And I think it's important to have people in your life that understands you for who you are. Like, that's Jazmin. She's unapologetic. That's how we always talk about all your friends. We be like, girl, you know how such and such is. Like, it's not we're not being disrespectful when we say that. It's just like, I know you and I know who you are. Mm-hmm. And I think it's really important to have friends that get that. They get that to you. Like, I'm the wild one at the group. Nee is a little bit more reserved. You the emotional one. You know what I'm saying? You know, you a fish, you know, like, you know what I'm saying? And I understand those things. So, like, I know, like, when I'm having certain situations going on, I know who to come to and I can get that type of advice. And two, I think it's just for having somebody be there for you. Like, I went through 2 failed relationships. You done been through something. And I feel like in the moments where I needed somebody where I'm saying, hey, I don't want to be around anymore. Like, I'm not myself. I can call you and you guys are like steady checking up on me. And if I don't answer the phone, hey, bitch, I've been calling you.
Well, we calling each other.
You know what I'm saying? I done seen your location. You're not hitting me up. You out of town with this man. Like, where you at, girl? Ooh, shit. Where are you at? And I think that's important to have, because I've had friendships where that wasn't the case. And it's really important. I think, and I talk about healing all the time, and not to deter or anything of that sort, but a big part of healing is having like a good support system. You know what I'm saying? Like a good support. Like, when I'm going through something, to me it might be minute, but for you it's like, Jazz, I'm stressed, I got this going on, I need to pull up at the house, like I just need to sit. I'm like, all right, cool, come on over. You know, and the same thing. So I think those are like really important like traits of having a friendship, and not to deteriorate or anything of that sort, but you guys have been that for me. And like it's a blessing for me, because I don't have a lot of friends. Like I said, I keep saying I'm an acquired taste. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't for everybody, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? But the friends I do have understand that, and they understand that, Jazmin. So I thank you guys for always being that. Absolutely. So let's change gears for a second. I want to talk about maintaining relationships, and I really want to get into this a little bit. So I've been friends with Nia for like 20. We keep saying 20 every time, but it's probably like we probably hitting the 30 mark. Like, we've been friends for a really long time, and I've been friends with you for 10 years. As we've gotten older, our schedules has changed, our communication has changed, our personality has changed, our love life has changed, where like we don't have the same time, you know, for each other, right? She's laughing, right? And this is she's laughing, but like, and we be tussling, you know what I'm saying? we be tussling, you know what I'm trying to say. But I really want to talk about maintaining friendships, because so many women want to have friends, but I don't think people really understand what it takes to maintain a relationship. Like, I'm gonna just talk with Nia for a second. I've been friends with Nia for 30 years, right? And though we started when we had, you know, when we were kids, wearing the all jean outfits and the Skechers and all that type of stuff, as we've gotten older and we've evolved and we've been around different experiences, we've changed as individuals. My personality has changed. Her personality has changed. Our time commitment has changed. And we have moments where like we tussle, you know what I'm saying, where we're not speaking to each other. But I will say one of the biggest things about maintaining relationships is communication. I kid you not, when me and her are not talking, it eats me the fuck up inside. I'm like crying to my man, like, yo, I ain't talk to Nia and she ain't call me. You know what I'm saying? Well, how about you call her now? Because she ain't call me. But as I've gotten older, I learned like, and we had a conversation one day when we were like trying to get back on. I was like, and I started crying with her on the phone. And I tell you, I kid you not, and I told her like I missed her. I want our friendship. And it was the hardest thing for me to do, because that's not in my nature. I don't do that. I'm very dominant. Like, bitch, you fucked up, you coming to me. Like, I don't need to search for you. And she's the same way. So it's like, yeah, Jazz, I miss you too, you know, like, you know, but you know, best friend, like, you always gonna be my best friend, but you know, it's uncomfortable for us. But I think one of the biggest things about maintaining relationship is being able to communicate that, right, with one another, versus with Ryan, like, we don't tussle a lot, to be honest with you, because she's very emotional and like, we nip it in the butt right in the moment. But like when we do have like a little tussle, it's uncomfortable for me because she's very emotional, and she's one of those people like, no, bitch, hear me out. I've been calling you. You ain't been answering. You told me you was going to call me back. You got this new nigga, and now you don't know me anymore. And I'm like, okay, I need to listen to what she's saying, right? Like, so what's kind of been like your experience as far as like maintaining relationships? Why do you feel like it's so hard to maintain relationships? And how do you maintain the relationships like you do have with people now at this moment?
So I'll piggyback off of, you know, what Jess said. Jazmin and I, we have been best friends for a really long time. Really long time. Okay. You know, our families were very close. We grew up practically together. It's kind of like almost, Jazz and I have been friends for so long. We're more so like sisters now. Yeah. And I think we do definitely have a sisterly relationship. But essentially, Jazz and I, we have been in many different like life changes and life scenarios like together, you know, for a long period of time. And, you know, I did get into a relationship, and you know, that was definitely like I guess a shift in our relationship, because you know, I do remember that one time like you were saying like, I feel like this is gonna be like, you know, the person that is gonna like wisp you away, and like that always does like sit with me. But you know, I always try to take with me like, you know, relationships like, you know, with man or woman, like, you know, that is something that we do prioritize. Yeah. But at the same time, you know, with you specifically, you know, and I tell like my boyfriend this, you know, from time to time, like, you know, Jazmin, like, you know, she just was a part of my life before you. Yeah. And on top of that, like girlfriendships, you know, it's also like a plant that you have to water, you have to nourish, you have to pay attention to, because they're just as important as like, you know, your relationships, your family, your husband, your boyfriend, whatever. Because, you know, like I said before, this is the person that was in my life prior to. Yeah. And, you know, not all plants, no matter how much plant food you put in that bitch, no matter how much water, like sometimes that shit just fucking dies. Yeah. You know, no matter how much you might put into like, you know, that friendship, like sometimes it just dies. But I feel like, you know, as long as you guys have, you know, communication, constant, like, you know, understanding and trust, and that just continues to flourish and flow, I feel like that's what you can do to maintain like, you know, a successful, healthy friendship.
Yeah. I'll say this before I get into you. One of the biggest things, and I can say this very honest and open, especially with Nia, like, I think one of the things you have to realize in maintaining a relationship is you have to understand what you're feeling in the moment. And I've told Nia this before, but I have had moments where, and I've told you this before too, I'm like, I was jealous of what Nia had. And I don't say that in a bad way, but it's like, I think social media makes you feel like your life has to be a certain kind of way. And so for me, when I saw Nia, you know, get into this new relationship, it was a beautiful relationship. I'm like, damn, not only am I losing my best friend, she over living the life. I'm over here eating crackers from Dollar Tree. Like, I'm struggling. You know what I'm saying? And if I'd have got out of this relationship, this man that cheated on me, I'm over here broke. Like, those are, you know, I had to come to a realization where, and I said this to my current boyfriend now, I'm like, I told him this, actually, this was Power Week when we was in New York. I was like, I've had moments where I'm like jealous of Nia, but as being your friend for so long, I can sit down and I can say that out loud and understand, and I can acknowledge that. And I'm like, yo, like, damn, like, it was points where I told you I couldn't come to your house. You know, I had just got out of my relationship and I couldn't come to her house because I'm like, seeing you in this environment is what I wanted, and I don't have that, and I'm not ready to see that. And she understood that, you know.
Completely. And with being your friend for so long, you know, it wasn't anything that I took personally. It just was something that I definitely understood. And, you know, I know like your background, like, you know, you have a small family and all your other family is overseas. So it was just you and I for like a really long time. So it was a strife, you know, on both ends, but, you know, I'm glad that, you know, we were able to, you know, come out of that. Friendships, they always go through patterns and life changes and, you know, but at the end of the day, we ain't going nowhere.
We ain't going nowhere.
No matter how long we don't talk or whatever, like.
Yes, absolutely.
I just think as adults, it's hard to maintain friendships because we have unattainable, I probably said it all wrong. We can't obtain these expectations that we set for our friends. Yeah. Like, we expect them to be something when people have so much crap going on. You can't expect people to be what you want them to be. You have to meet them sometimes where they are. Yeah. And, like, you start dating, and I was the only single friend. Like, I wasn't dating nobody or whatever. Yeah. And it, like, I have to meet you where you are. Yeah. But you have to meet me where I am, too. So it's just a level of understanding across the board. And people just don't want to do that anymore. People just want you to be where they want you to be.
Yeah. And I'm learning that in this relationship that I'm in now, because I'm like you just said, it's all, your friendships are also a relationship too. So, you know, when I am with my boyfriend, I'm like, hold on, I gotta call Ryan. I gotta call Nia. I'm just letting you know, I have to make time for those things too, because I can't just be, I mean, I can, but I'm not trying to be later with my man all day. Like, I like to have that type of friendship where, like, you talking to my man too. We all laughing, kiki. We just did it this morning. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I want to be able to kind of have that. I'm not trying to be best friends with your boyfriend or nothing like that, but I wanted to have that family dynamic, and I feel like I do have that with you guys.
And you just have to remember, you can't be everything to everybody.
Absolutely.
You know, it has to be a little sprinkle here. You gotta sprinkle everything. You can't be everything to everybody.
You can't. You gotta meet people where they meet you, and that's just what it is. Like, you got to keep people where they keep you. That's just exactly what it is, and that's okay. So I really want to touch into toxic friendships for a second. I feel like we've all had enough friends where we understand toxic friendships. I had a friendship. We're gonna go into this story real quick, and you guys know I had a friend for 10 years, I kid you not. And you would think that you're friends with somebody for so long that you're like, okay, like, you've met my family, you've met my other friends, we've traveled the world, we've had money together, et cetera, et cetera. And eventually the friendship ended because we just both didn't agree on what was a priority to one another. And to be honest with you, when I look back on that friendship, I really don't even know why we're not even friends no more. You know, but I'm also one of those people where I'm a Leo and I hold a grudge and like, bitch, we're not friends no more. We're never gonna be friends. Like that's just what it is. Like that's just what it is. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I'm saying? And you guys are my only two friends, but I've had some really bad friendships and toxic just for the simple fact I feel like, unfortunately, I live in Atlanta. Some women, they only want the benefits that you come with, who you know, where you go out to, what you bring to the table. Like, and it's hard to find a friend for that simple fact. And so it makes us like where we can't trust anybody.
Toxic relationships, very similar to Ryan. I've been in situations where, you know, people had definitely only been friends with me, you know, for certain things. Can I be honest? Yeah. Before I hop into this? I also kind of feel like, you know, in my past, you know, I might have been like on wrong paths. Maybe where I probably wasn't a friend to like other people where I feel like I needed to be. And that's just, you know, being honest. And sometimes like, you know, with me like maturing in my life, I, you know, had to, you know, reach out to certain people to just, you know, simply apologize. Like, hey, like I'm a different person now. And I apologize. I'm being honest. And, you know, I apologize for being the person that I wasn't yeah, exactly. But I think the scariest part of toxic relationships are relationships with people that you don't even know that the situation was toxic. Yeah. This person can appear to be like, you know, someone that you genuinely love, someone who's been around your family, someone who's been around your friends, like, you know, just completely like, you know, nothing like out of the ordinary. I think in the situation that I was in, you know, I loved this person so much. Yeah. I really, truly did. Yeah. And, you know, it was things that people had saw around me that I genuinely didn't see just because I loved that person so much. And, you know, sometimes like with toxic relationships, you know, when you kind of do have realization that they may not be serving to you in the way that you think that you might need that, sometimes real people in your circle can like help you realize that. Yeah. And it was a heartbreaking thing that I had to do when I had to, you know, remove certain people out of my life that I love so much. But, you know, it just wasn't serving me, you know, in that aspect of life anymore. Yeah. It's tough.
I think that was a good point, though, because there has been times where people have been more of a friend to me than I have been to them. And I might have been selfish. And I also had to go back to them and be like, look, I'm sorry that I wasn't, you know, that friend to you. But I've also had friendships where people were so much of a friend to me and I genuinely just didn't have that same relationship with them in return. And I had to let them know, like, I just don't see you on that level. Nothing personal, but like, I just, for what you have going on and what you're doing, like, and that's your life and that's okay. I'm not judging you, but like, that's not the type of time that I'm on and I can't be that friend to you. So like, and I would say that so they could just stop having expectations of me or stop getting their feelings hurt when they would see me maybe hanging out with one of you guys and be like, well, yo, I asked you to go out. Like, why? I'm not on that type of time with you. And nothing personal, but I just can't have that friendship with you no more.
Exactly. Yeah. Not everybody is for you and not you're not for everybody.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, as we close, I do want to talk about one last thing. And I think I get this question a lot on TikTok. And I've also seen this as a big topic where women are moving to new cities and they're always asking this question, like, where do you meet friends? Where do you meet friends? Like, y'all, where do we meet friends at 30? Like, I feel like some of the new people I have met, it just has been like very casual. Just being out, being on set, being in the same environment that I'm in, a coffee shop or whatever the case is. But I generally haven't met like anybody on Instagram, maybe like conversations, but never anyone that I'm like, yeah, bitch, we friends just from social media anymore. I just feel like I'm too old to be meeting girls off of social media, unless it feels genuine, unless the conversation just feels amicable or something of the sort. But other than that, no.
I think in like our age group, it's different. You know what I mean? So the friends that you do meet on social media, those are your social media friends. Like people that I talk specifically on Instagram, and that's it. It doesn't go outside of that. But if you're trying to like move to a new city and like make friendships and talk to different people, you just have to be very wary. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because so you don't know what people's motives are. I would say maybe like paint sips. You might can connect with somebody. Maybe like when you're traveling. Yeah. I met some people when I went to Hawaii, and I still keep in contact with them.
That's dope.
Human?
No.
But maybe traveling, you can meet new friends.
Yeah.
But it's hard at this age to make a friend that's going to last. Mm. So it's just maybe you can make friends on social media. You can make travel buddies. But as far as like a friendship like this, I mean, I would say me and Nia became friends.
Through me.
So like as adults, that became a separate friendship. Yeah. So maybe mutual friends, you can make friends that way. Yeah. But it's just...
It's tough, man.
It's hard.
Yeah.
So, you know me, I'm not on social media at all, which has been like, you know, very therapeutic for me, because I've realized like, you know, a lot, I feel like, of what women, and not saying that social media is a bad thing, you know, I feel like there's a lot of benefits and, you know, connections and a lot of great things that happen with social media, especially in a business aspect world. It's great. But just therapeutically for me, you know, I decided to get off social media. But a lot of what people like put on social media is what they want you to know, and not like, you know, the authentic part of them that you want to know. I guess for me, you know, at the moment, my doors are closed for new friendships.
Absolutely, bitch.
I have. I got more than enough. Right. I mean, the bridesmaids list is like, God damn, but you know.
I better be right there. Don't play with me.
But I do feel like, you know, girlfriend friendships are kind of like very similar to like, you know, relationships. So like, I feel like I thrive off of relationships when you meet people in real life scenarios. Like you could be at the grocery store. And, like, I kid you not, like, not saying that I would be, like, this woman's friend, but me and this white lady, like, 80 years old, are at the grocery store. And we both sitting here, like, $9.99 for eggs. And we just in here, you know, chopping it up, like, having a good conversation, but in a real-life scenario. And I'm like, dang, like, I have, like, so much in common, like, you know, with this person, like, and I never would have known. So I just say, like, you know, if you are, you know, a woman in a new city, like, you know, looking for like new friends, new associates, whatever, like you have to get out in real life situations. Like you're not going to meet them like all the time, like on apps or like on social media. You have to get out there and like be social, like be, you know, active. If you feel like you want to join the poetry club and you're like all about poetry, well, you might have to find some type of club in poetry and meet somebody who has the same interests as you.
Absolutely.
Like real organic, like natural relationships. Like
you gotta be friendly too. Like my friendly ass.
You gotta be. You gotta push yourself a little bit. Like if you know that you just that hard bitch, I don't like to talk to nobody. Well, then you're not gonna have no friends.
Yeah. That's why I got to. Because you are friendly as hell. Friendly as hell. Well, ladies, thank you so much for coming by.
Ooh,
thank
Ryan.
you guys. Cheers! Y'all thirsty asses. Thank you guys for coming to another episode of Dear Woman, I Got Y'all. And I can't wait to see you guys next week. And remember, stay fearless, okay? Stay fearless. Cheers.
Cheers. I'm into you. Cheers.